Kaboom.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the AIB Show. This is Amit.
And Dominic.
And the world's obviously been interesting the past couple weeks. It always is. So we're trying to chat about some of these things going on. And I was just talking with Dominic offline because I'm tech savvy, but I'm also not comprehending what's happening in this whole metaverse space. And specifically put, Microsoft is buying Activision. Microsoft is massive. Activision is also massive, buying for like $75 billion. And they're buying it, and the play is for the quote-unquote metaverse, right? So make sure that they have a stake in the metaverse. Disney said the same thing. They intend to use Disney Plus to be their avenue to the metaverse. Obviously, Facebook changed their whole damn name to Meta, and they're making their whole metaverse play there. But I'm still not grasping what the F this metaverse. Like, I understand that it's the next thing.
What aren't you
in
grasping?
Concept, but I don't know why I'd want to live in the space is my point. I don't understand the dynamic of living and paying and doing stuff in the space. Like we mentioned the weddings and the buying furniture and the whatever. Like I don't get it.
Yeah, here's another one. So the Nets, Brooklyn Nets, NBA team, they're the first, I don't know if it's the first sports team in the world, definitely first sports team in America to come out where essentially you can watch a live metaverse version of the game. They have 100 unique cameras set up at the Barclays Arena that are strictly dedicated to converting the real live action into a digital live version, a live digital version. That in essence kind of looks like a video game, but it's the actual plays that are going on in the game and the individuals. So instead of watching it, say, on TV or streaming it, whatever, you're watching the meta version of it.
But why? Why? That's my point, right? My point is why. I get it. Don't get me wrong. I can have, there can be an avatar out there with a really big forehead and that's you. And there's a really small avatar and that's me. I get it. But why? Like, why would I want to watch big forehead avatar Dominic when I could watch real Dominic? And again, and the reason I'm saying this, and again, and I'm sure I'm going to be proven wrong, guaranteed. And I'm aware of this. I'm still not totally on board because when I look at it and they go, this is the meta, whatever, the meta basketball game, right? And what we've done over the past, decade or so is we found a way to make we found a way to make sure you can get content in every possible medium, on your phone, on your computer, on your TV, all over the place, on the plane, whatever. So you can actually watch the Nets play live wherever the F you may be globally. And now you're giving me a cartoon version with some cheese tricks graphics? Like, I don't get it. Like, why would I watch it?
Not cheese tricks graphics.
Brethren. No. It ain't like the Matrix. It's some cheese trick graphics, dog.
No, it's some legit.
It looks like Zelda.
No, it does not look like Zelda. Speaking of which, my wife claims she beat Zelda as a kid. I'm calling BS on that.
I'm calling BS on your wife too, bro.
I don't believe her.
She probably thinks it's a whole different game, man. She probably has no idea. She probably thinks it's a whole different game. Yeah. She thinks it's Cubert.
She's in the background going, I did 100%.
She thinks it's Cubert. No way.
You can't. Nobody can beat Zelda. It's the legend. She says he had the thing at the end. Yeah, the sword he carries the whole game.
I think she may beat like a round. Because that was a whole game. She beat like level 1 and it was like, oh, the game's over. But yeah, I don't. Okay, so why would you? There's
so many different reasons for the meta. For some people, and I don't know if people are starting to do it now, like truncate it to. By the way, truncate might be my favorite word of all time. Randomly. Wow. Who knows? In today's version of who knows, Dominic's favorite word. Truncate.
That's in today's version. Who cares? Is what it comes down to.
Since I was a little rotund kid, truncate has always been my favorite word. I'm a logophile, lover of words, like Wordle. Speaking of,
yeah, you
finally got into Wordle. This jackass's first time playing Wordle yesterday. Crushed me yesterday. I'm Wordle, for those of you who don't know, sweeping the world.
Yeah, beat Wordle.
Sweeping the world in terms of popularity. It's a game, not an app. If you look up the app, it's a completely different thing. It's a website. You go to every day, there's one new word you have to guess. You have 6 chances to guess it. Each word is always 5 letters. And you just, on turn 1, you throw out a random word and it tells you if any of your letters that in your word you guessed are in the actual word and in the actual position. You take it from there. Very addicting. Good thing it's only 1 word a day. Not sure what we were talking about, how I got to truncate. For many people in their lives.
You're saying the meta, yeah.
I don't know if people are truncating metaverse to meta, like I'm doing now, or if that's just douchey. But anyway, in the meta, it's an escape for many people, right? You've sadly got, I say kids, teenagers, young adults, even, normal aged adults that their lives, how do I say this, aren't special or aren't,
wow, dude,
or they're depressing. This is an escape. This is a new reality. They may not have many friends or friends at all. I'm reading reports that people are more concerned about how their avatars look and their skins and everything and spending money there as opposed to how they dress and look in the real world.
Yeah, but isn't that a bad thing?
I agree.
Like, is
it's
that
depressing, and there's more concern over how things look there, than in the actual real world.
See, but I think that's a bad thing. Like, why are we aspiring to this bad if you're gonna feel, well, here's a couple other things. And again, I know I'm gonna be proven wrong. So mark the tape. Come how many of years, and it probably gonna be sooner than later. I'm aging myself because I know I'm proven wrong. But when I look at this whole concept, and you go, hey, yo, you can watch a Nets game in the metaverse, and I'm like, why would I want to do that? Like, why do I really care to watch a cartoon Nets game when I can watch a Nets game? Why would I want to watch a Nets game, period? But if I was going to watch the cartoon version. So that's number 1. But number 2 is, if I'm going to spend money, tangible dollars, on apparel and all these things that exist in this fake universe. Now, I'm assuming, obviously, going to be a fraction of the cost of buying an actual shirt or actual shoes. Like, Nike is going to make meta sneakers. They've already said so. They're going to make meta Jordans that you can buy and rock on your avatar in the game, right? Now, if I'm going to spend any money on some faux Nikes, some digital Nikes, so I can look cool walking around, and I use cool loosely, my avatar can look cool, but I'm sitting at home at my desk like this with the thing on my face and a remote controller and a headset, I assume, right? Like, I don't get it. Like,
okay. Do you get art collection?
You did this before when we talked about NFTs. They're not the same.
Do you get shoe collection?
I understand what people...
Okay, or shoe collection that one doesn't wear, because if you wear them, if you're collecting art, who's really seeing it besides anybody in your house? Or many art collectors just store it. Yeah, just store it. So it's
but it's different. You're buying an appreciating asset that
speculatively appreciating assets and historically appreciating it. Some of these are as well.
Yeah, but I'm not buying meta art to put in a meta storage unit. I'm buying a meta. You could argue that you could argue it's more functional though, because you're buying it and other people are seeing it digitally versus the storage unit where no one's seeing it. Fine, but what I'm trying to say to you is, why would I don't? But then I'm sitting on my couch or my chair or whatever, and I'm, to your point, doing the most unhealthy thing possible, where I'm literally not moving.
Yes.
Right, and I'm playing a game for a lengthy. Literally, it's a game for a lengthy amount of time, and then they go, you could do meta meta office meetings and meta this and meta that, and I'm like, but I have Zoom and I can see you. Why do I want to see a cartoon?
Stock is down quite significantly since the top of the pandemic.
Totally fine. I'm using Zoom as the standard noun for all of them, right? Whatever your app of choice is. My point being, if I'm doing the meta situation, if I want to go to a meta office meeting and see everybody that's cartoonish, why don't I just go to the actual office meeting, right, via whatever one of these apps are? Like, what am I losing?
I get it.
But you don't. You're trying to convince me. You're trying to help me understand, but you're not helping me understand. So help me understand. Do you not understand either?
I'm helping you. Listen, I'm on your side in terms of the way we think of this. I'm just trying to get into the mentality of the flip side. The office meeting stuff, I more don't get that one. I get the aspect of immersing oneself into this better reality for some people, that's improved reality. It's sad, but it can lead to higher self-esteem, I imagine. But then in the grand scheme of things, conversely, worse self-esteem when you're not in the meta, when you're just in real life. And it's like, yeah.
Right? Like, there've been movies about this, The Matrix being one of them. There are other movies, all that stuff. It's just, yeah, it's strange. I don't grasp it. I don't get it. But so that was one thing that I'm sitting there looking at this and I don't understand what's happening.
It's reality. We're sliding into it. There's a lot of speculation that this acquisition also was they're not even sure exactly what, but to essentially grab all their gamers for future meta type activity. And for Activision, it was opposite. They need the resources, from Microsoft going forward as they delve into AI and other things. So it's interesting.
Yeah, for $70 billion, I'm assuming you've got to have a big play, right? Or something going on there. Yeah. But I don't, I'm confused. That's all. Very, very, very confused. That's my rant. What you got?
And when I said you sure earlier, I meant you sure the link is up.
Yeah, I put because just so you know, for those of you who are watching us on the Facebook situation, the link is up if you want to join the chat. Obviously, Facebook we're live there too. So if you want to, if you're looking at this, you know where it is. But for future reference, we'll make notes of when we're going to go live so you can kind of follow the show. You can obviously comment, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And it is available to all parties. What you got for me, Dominic?
Laquan McDonald.
Yes.
Teenager, 2014. He was 17 years old in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
He was shot 16 times by a police officer. I think his name was Jason Van Dyke, something of that nature. Mm-hmm. 16 times. Walking on the highway. It was long ago. I don't know if he was having, I don't recall, like a manic episode or he was, I remember him being shirtless on the highway, odd. He may have had a knife. Regardless, shot 16 times. Not even shot at 16, which would have been egregious enough. Literally shot 16 times, including several times while he was on the ground. Thankfully, we have video of it. The officer was convicted, in 2018, I believe, 4 years later. Charged with second-degree murder and 16 counts of aggravated assault, each count being for each bullet. And prosecution was asking for, I believe, 20 or 25 years. He was found guilty. The judge only sentenced him to friggin' 7 years. 7. Saying that it's tragic, on both sides. No, there's no tragic on both sides. So he was sentenced to 7 years, and he's set to be released next month after serving a little over 3 years for shooting a kid 16 times. And being found guilty. And it's just, it got me thinking again where, of course I seem to whine and complain about the system a lot. And it's just mind numbing that we still have people locked up for far less issues. There's not much more what's much worse than this one, right? Shooting a kid 16 times. You got pedophilia, rape, murder.
We don't have to go through all of it, but yeah.
But I'm saying,
I'm with you, yeah.
It's up there, right? Of the 500 offenses or 5,000 offenses that people are locked up in jail and prison for, it's in that top less than 1%. And somebody's out in the street in less than 3 years. And it's just mind-numbing. And again, I'll go through with what I think has to happen. It's why I say we have to defund the police, because this guy had over 20 complaints against him prior to the incident, most of which were for physical abuse, right? So if there's 20 complaints, imagine how many dozen more times it happened and people didn't complain, because this is the problem. We accept this. When I had my incident, episode 5, look it up, Miami Beach police beat the crap out of me. The guy who was in the back of the car beside me, he knew what was going to happen. He told me. He's used to it. It's just commonplace. The corrections officers, when I was in jail, didn't even blink an eye when I told them everything would happen, because they said someone of my color shouldn't have been on South Beach, and they were black. And they said, oh, we just know. Don't you know that? So instead of wanting to strive for change, collectively, so many of the masses, including the victims themselves, which it hurts me to the core, just accept everything, which is why I'm a huge proponent of defunding the police, burning the system to the ground even, right?
The system.
Yeah, what did it sound like I said?
No, I just want to make sure that people realize you don't mean burning people to the ground. The system is what he's saying. Yes, it's more abstract than a tangible thing.
Yes, burn it to the ground. Fire upon Babylon, the shit stem. Burn it. Reallocate funds again for causes that can help society and lower crime again and again. Reallocate funds to housing, to education, to employment, to even things such as infrastructure, fiber optics. I'm learning about fiber and what it can do in my house. And I live in, a suburb. I'm talking across the country where people don't have access simply to the internet, to learning, which can also be dangerous, as we see with so many people misreading information they get. But still, education, schooling, right? Providing teachers with resources. Where you know what's wild to me? We have all this back the blue and blue lives. First of all, there's no damn thing as a blue life besides a Smurf. There's no blue life. All blue lives became is a direct antagonistic movement against Black Lives Matter. So inherently it's racist because you have a problem recognizing that historically and presently darker pigmented individuals face struggles in this country, right? So this whole blue lives thing is a joke. Where's the support for teachers? We rush out and we pretend we support police officers, except January 6th, where all of a sudden we want to attack them, right? And the Capitol riots. Imagine if we gave the same love we have and support for teachers. Gave them to teachers. How better society would be. I don't know, man. Just I've been doing pretty good recently these last few episodes. Laughing, jovial. I feel like I do that every episode, but this one brought me back. Even athletics for kids, the arts for kids, aftercare for kids, putting money into figuring out insurance, like the situation in this country. Like you talked about, like you think about going into, and your thought is, I got to pay stuff. I'm going to have knee surgery.
I just did a physical and I ain't got, I walked out and I was like, I don't owe you money. And they're like, no, you're good. And I was like, man, I'm going to get a bill in the mail and I'm scared of what this bill is going to be because I had to get a physical. Right. And I had to get a bunch of stuff going on with the physical too, because of the COVID-19. So now I got to get a sonogram, of my heart and everything like that. Cause you're like, look, there's a lot of things that we just don't know about it yet. So you might as well get the stuff checked out. So my point is, to your point, these are all things that are, when you talk about the police, when you talk about all these dynamics, when you talk about dollars, when you talk about the way we look at other people and the way people's experiences differ, right? So case in point, there's a thing actually today. So the Wharton School of Business, right? Trump's alma mater, right? Yeah, School of Business, part of UPenn. This is actually a local tweet. So, and I'm going to butcher her last name. So it's Nina Strominger. So, quote unquote, I asked Wharton students what they thought the average American worker makes per year. I'll pose that question to you real quick. What do you think the average American makes per year? Play along at home if you'd like.
Who
else would I be talking to? Who else am I talking to, man? Is anybody here but you and me?
I don't know if you're leaving for the chat. I'm guessing. I'm going to go, and I'm thinking this is too high, but I'm going 24,000.
24,000. Okay. Yes. 25% of these students thought it was over six figures. So right off the bat, right?
This is the freaking problem with the stupidity of
This is
people.
what I'm trying to tell you. These are people going to Wharton School of Business. These are people going
because
to a higher level
privileged
education.
Of the privileged life they grew up in. Listen, in the grand scheme of things, in the grand scheme of things, we're still grew up in a privileged life versus 99% of the world. But then that's the next level of privilege they have, where at least we are cognizant of everything around us.
I mean, as much as we can be. To your point, there's some crap that we don't. Yeah.
So 25% of them thought
it was 6 figures. Now, mind you, right? I mean, which is it's ridiculous.
What is the answer?
Blatantly ridiculous. You know? So I'm going to get down to it, right? One of them even thought it was 800K. Now, this person should never get a job ever in life and just go to hell. This person should live in the metaverse and do whatever and live off mom and dad's money because this person's an idiot. Like, independent of anything else, this person's a blatant moron. Yeah. Period. Right? Male or female, whoever this person is, you, sir, or ma'am, just go home, call it a day, forget your education. You were an idiot. Plain and simple. The actual number is 45K. You were actually on the lower side. Right? Right? Okay. Now, that is still crazy. When you, again, just thinking 25%, now this is one school and one study, but 25% thinking of 6 figures, like your vision of life is so skewed where you think this is it's like, oh yeah, everybody's got, you know, which is why Miami is an effed up city to live in, because people visit Miami and say, oh, everybody's driving BMWs and whatever. And I'm like, bruh, you can't look at Miami that way because it ain't, I mean, it's there, but I mean, there's nothing makes sense down here, right? The amount of Lamborghini SUVs around or whatever, it don't make no sense because I know people ain't making them kind of money down here. But again, perception is key. So I thought that was just ridiculous when I just heard about that because I was like, this is just mind-boggling foolish. But you know, it's what he's gonna look at. I'm like, it's crazy across the board. Give me something else.
Back to finishing. So defund the police, right? We have to build a system revolving around the actual good officers. And it's not just a few bad apples. So you can miss me with that foolishness. Because when I get beat up by a few officers and 12 other officers are watching it happen, laughing and watching,
that goes back
good because they didn't participate?
That's what I'm saying. That goes back to
we consider them as good. No, they're almost as, you could argue they're the same. There's no difference. Mm-hmm. So that's just one example of police station. This happens all the time. We see these instances, the blue wall of silence. Again, this whole protection for the police. So anyway, I say fire a staggering amount of officers. Fire them. Get rid of them. And build the whole system back up. Guess what? Life is better for everyone. Crime is lowered because we're providing resources where people, you're always going to have criminals, right? Bad people in general, people born just evil. But other people do it out of desperation, and other people do it out of ignorance and no other opportunity. And we can assist those people and prevent actual crime, because over-policing doesn't prevent crime. That's where I'm at. We build a better system. Kaboom, life is better for all. But, you know, no, we don't understand defund the police. We like to scare people, just like with your boy Ron DeSantis, governor of Florida. This fuck boy.
Damn it! Now I got to put a damn expletive on this episode too.
I mean, you cursed last episode. You didn't realize it. I forgot to tell you. So his Stop Woke Act, which I guess is now changed. The term has changed. The name of the act, and it's finally released. I haven't read it because I've been looking for it for about a month, and I couldn't find it to read the act because I'm the nerd that likes to read these amendments and proposals and everything. It came out. It passed whatever the next step in Florida of being passed, and basically what it is it allows parents to sue schools and districts that talk about CRT, critical race theory. Number one, there is no school that does that. So all this does is it's fear mongering, just like Trump did with the wall, and talking about we have this immigration issue where overwhelmingly more illegal immigrants in this country come via air. But let's pretend they're all coming across the border, and let's pretend they're all raping and doing this, even though they commit statistically less crime than actual American citizens and residents, legal residents. So we talk about this fear mongering, and he's doing this, so it's talking about critical race theory. They're claiming makes white people uncomfortable because it's telling them they're bad, which is not true. It's simply telling actual history. If you feel bad, tough shit. And guess what? You didn't do anything. It's your ancestors, but we're all complicit in the system. So it's just mind-boggling that people go for this. They hear this and they go, yeah. Critical race theory, we got to stop. We got to stop critical race theory. It's horrible. Well, not knowing anything about what it actually is.
But that's called great marketing, dog. That's marketing. This is what the Democrats are horrible at.
Yeah. And you can your boy Dinesh D'Souza. What's up?
No, I didn't say anything. You said my boy and I let it ride.
Oh,
you don't want
to know what just happened.
What just happened? I do want to know, man.
Instead of I just realized I'm watching on the Facebook stream, but it's on mute. So I looked at the camera and I saw you talk, but I couldn't see you. But it's also like a few seconds back. Anyway, go on. Technically.
Wow, you're an idiot. You're an idiot. You were an idiot. Talk about Dinesh D'Souza.
Yeah, Dinesh D'Souza. An Indian.
Really?
Political commentator. What?
I mean, that part needs to be said.
No,
how many white
many
Dinesh's
people
do you know?
don't realize that. Many people wouldn't realize that.
That Dinesh is Indian?
Yes.
Listening to this show?
Just because you are Indian and
Listening to this show?
And I'm a fellow honorary Indian,
Right.
many people would not realize that, dude. Trust me.
All right, sorry, continue.
He tweeted, "You can have Martin Luther King Jr. and his colorblind ideal, or you can have critical race theory. But you can't have both. This explicit goal of CRT is to move us away from the colorblind principle and to restore de facto and de jure racial discrimination. King would be horrified." This has been my problem. I almost went on a rant on Monday. With people, foolish people all the time quoting MLK with not understanding a damn thing about MLK because all they know is his speech. I have a dream. That's all they know. And they look at the words in the speech and they don't understand anything about what he was. They don't realize that he was public enemy number one when he died, right? He embodied everything now that we consider woke and controversial that half this country would despise. And more than half the country despised him in the 60s, right? So it's revisionist history where we think he was ideal, and it's so ignorant where people are doing it. And that's what people don't realize is MLK wasn't colorblind. He said he wanted people to not be judged by the color of their skin, not be judged, but he wasn't colorblind. I mean, he even wrote about this the year before he died. Whites, it must frankly be said, are not putting in a similar mass effort to re-educate themselves out of their racial ignorance. It is an aspect of their sense of superiority that the white people of America believe they have so little to learn. Is that colorblind? No.
Damn.
So
I did not know
stop quoting MLK and stop.
Who are you going to rant to? Were you going to rant to him directly? Was this on the Twitter space that he said this?
This was on the Twitter space that he said this, yes.
Did you reply?
And then Etan Thomas, who was an NBA, former NBA player, he wrote to Dinesh, "It's not the fact that you shamelessly spouted this incredibly incorrect definition of CRT or your intentional misrepresentation and summation of Dr. King and false equivalence of the two. It's so many people actually agreed with your foolishness." It's true, because they don't know.
This is the world we live in.
And this
sir.
all resolved around CRT and what's his name? Ron Clownface DeSantis. That it's a straw man argument. He's doing this whole thing through the Florida Senate, which is irrelevant. This isn't going on. This isn't being taught in schools. Find a school in America. Talk to teachers. One of our best friends is a teacher. It doesn't happen. Anyway.
I ain't got no kids in school. Well, I ain't got no kids, so I have no idea what's actually being taught or not. I just think it's kind of ridiculous where if you want to be selective with your education by way of what you teach, and I mean it's interesting because we've always known this dynamic. Like, it was funny when I grew up in Jamaica, the slave trade, the triangle trade, right, was West Africa, was the UK, and then I'm sorry, it was Europe, and then was the Caribbean. And then in the US, it was actually not the Caribbean, but it was the US. And when I got here, I was like, hold up, man, y'all drew the triangle wrong. Because that's the way I learned it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's all contingent on, people's myopia as it relates to certain things, or people's need for grandeur to be like, hey, we are important in this dynamic and how we want to tell the story. And sadly, There are versions of history, but the worst thing, the dumbest phrase ever, is when you use the word it's whatchamacallit, what's Trump's dumb thing where it's fake no, not fake news. When use the word facts incorrectly, like to say it's something facts or whatever, like alternate facts or whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever, there's only facts. There are no alternate facts. Just mean it's wrong. Like there are no such things. There's facts. Is facts. Is facts. That's what they're called, facts. And any other word you put before or after the word facts, it doesn't matter. Facts are facts. That's why they are, in fact, that. Look at the definition. That's what it means. There's no alternate. There's no whatever. There's no leeway there, right? Gravity, fact. I don't care whatever you want to go with, whatever. I don't believe in this. I don't give a shit. It's a fact. These are things that I hate when people use that term because it really bothers me. Back to the tech front. There's 5G business. You hearing about this, Dominic?
Yeah, I sent it in our group chat this morning. That's why I tagged our boy Gopes.
Why'd you tag him, actually?
I saw it because remember he was... I don't even remember he was talking about in the chat the
earlier this week. Yeah.
About Jamaicans not accepting... I don't even remember what he was saying. Yes, I was seeing yesterday that airlines were concerned about the rollout of 5G, and I saw today that certain airports, they didn't roll it out because of airport concerns.
So they were going to build 5G towers or 5G, and I'm assuming they're towers, pardon my ignorance here, near airports. This is all planned. All that stuff was out there, whatever, to get the full rollout, et cetera. So this has been a plan for years. It's not something you just jump in and do, right? Because all the mobile phone companies are putting in significant dollars to make this a thing. And the FAA has done nothing, apparently, to update, modify, whatever their systems to accommodate for the future, which is now the present, actually. Now, in other countries, this rollout is taking place, Europe, et cetera, with no impact or negligible impact, meaning no problems with flights or whatever. But yet in the US, we didn't do that. And this is what the airlines are spouting, by the way, right? I don't know enough to say if the airlines are correct or incorrect, or the airlines are making up stories or whatever, but I'm likely to believe the airlines versus the FAA, because getting things through government to get things done or getting traction to make things happen, it doesn't really work. It's very, very, very painstaking process. So I'm more likely to believe the airlines in this dynamic where they put in all this investment and they're vexed about it because they have to put a halt on it because the FAA hasn't done their part, supposedly. And it's one of these things where I was talking to Lotion. I see the 5G thing pop on my phone every now and then, but I've yet to experience what this revolution is supposed to be, much like the meta. I have yet to experience this and understand what's happening there and see if I want to jump on board, because it looks cool. But I mean, it's supposed to be like the ish. Like you're not supposed to need, I can run, if I use my phone and I link my phone to my computer, I should be able to run internet at amazing speeds with nothing, with no stress, really easy and no additional cost. But I've yet to truly experience this beyond having a 5G icon pop up on my phone. So I don't know what's going on, but I'm on the side of the airlines versus this until I'm proven wrong, just because I have limited faith in the FAA. And that's based on every flight I take all the time, with the airport being just a horribly run scenario across the board.
You ever flown out of West Palm?
Back in 5 years ago. Why?
Such a pleasant experience.
Because nobody's there?
Yeah.
You say that because that airport's stuck in the 1950s.
Yes.
In population and
without the racism overt. Now it's just hidden.
Wow. Everything goes, wow. You can't. This guy.
I think I saw the Negro water cooler still in place.
Wow, Doug.
No, but because where I live, which is Miami, of course. When I'm debating flying out of Fort Lauderdale or West Palm, if I can fly out of West Palm, it's always West Palm. It's such a pleasant, easy, nice experience.
I mean, because again, nobody's there. So all you're really saying is you don't want to be around people. And you want to go where where the conveyor belts are old school as hell and where all that stuff is just stuck in the past. But yet you want to progress. I don't understand what you want, Dominic. Do you want the future or not?
Freedom for all.
Wow.
Speaking of Freedom to Vote Act, which I did not read, kind of disappointed myself. Well, maybe I'm glad because it didn't pass.
Well, you knew it wouldn't pass.
Yeah, we knew it wouldn't pass. So I can't speak much of it. It's essentially the Voting Rights Act, right? Didn't pass. I'm going to go out and say shame on them, even though, again, haven't read it. But I know the intent was good. So, seemingly sad. You know, I know it's trying to create a federal standard for voting too, and
but it still wouldn't have addressed a lot of things that are currently in play, by the way. But it would have been, you know, it would have created a nice federal standard, and it would have changed some of the dynamics associated with the vice president's power, quote unquote. You know, when Trump was trying to get Pence to not certify the election, stuff like that. Yeah. But all this went down, et cetera. But we knew it wouldn't pass because the Dems are just the Dems. They're their own worst enemy. And with the upcoming election, it's all things are pointing to them not being, of them losing seats. And it's going to be
how do you mess this up? It's just staggering.
It's a Democrat. I mean, how do they mess this up? Right?
It's unreal.
You look at Krysten Sinema, and her whole thing was, I don't want to. It was this utopian concept of, I don't want to create additional division by signing off on this, and I want to build, you know, a community dynamic and blah blah blah. But that's like saying, if nobody else is on board with this thought process, and if you're the one trying to build a community and everybody else is like, get out of my house, how do you build a community? You feel me? You just got to build your own house, man. And hopefully you can build a community from people who are pseudo like-minded. But literally the other people, it's like you're trying to get into the house and be like, hey, let's have a community, let's talk amongst yourselves. So like, I don't want you in my house. So what is she talking? Like, it's just, the ignorance is amazing that you assume that you're going to get anything passed. And if the past year isn't evidence of that alone, right? And between her and Manchin, both who, and I told you, Manchin, what a tool, to the point where he was literally standing on his boat. I think I was telling you this, looking down at people, literally looking down at people, talking about, hey, I got to look for my constituents, etc. Come on, man, in West Virginia, right? So much so that Nick Saban, which is, again, very ridiculous, but Nick Saban had to write Manchin a letter asking him to jump on board and support the act. And other key West Virginians, I don't know who else is key West Virginians, by the way, but they listed 3, and I remember Nick Saban's the little person I remember. But if you've got to get, you know, the famous to sway your thought when you're about the constituent's life, another problem. But obviously it didn't work. Too little, too late. But just, you know, ridiculous.
Mitch McConnell, Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell. Did you hear his comments yesterday?
I did not.
Talking about the voting side.
No, what did he say?
African American voters are voting in just as high a percentage as Americans.
That's what he said?
Yes, and that's not a Freudian slip. That's not as if he meant, or not. I mean, it is. It's not as if he meant like as other Americans. Like, you know, for a fact, he views them differently. The Negroes are different than the true Americans. Yes, he's getting a lot of flack for that clown.
I mean, again, yeah, this is the stuff I look at here and I'm like, I don't understand what's going on, but it is what it is. Yeah, and that's and then, by the way, this Yellowstone show, very, very, very good and captivating.
Oh, my neighbor's dad told me about it last year. Told me I should watch it.
I done went through 4 seasons, right? The problem is the 3 seasons, first 2 seasons are on Peacock, and the last season is on Paramount Plus. So if you've got cable or YouTube TV, you probably have the Paramount Plus version, so you can have the recording this year, or regular Paramount, sorry. So you can, you know, hopefully just record this year and not pay for it. Otherwise, you got to do the Peacock life for the first 3. Anyway, the show is dope. And then we got a new show, 1886 or 1883, sorry, which is in essence the prequel to this. It's the same dude. He was the same writer. He's actually in the show, Taylor Sheridan, who's done just so many.
Yeah, but should I watch the prequel first?
No, the prequel actually got created after the fact. So during the last season or second last season, they started throwing little samples because they wanted to create a whole spinoff. But it doesn't matter. I mean, no, it's a simple answer to your question. Don't watch Yellowstone. Worth watching. Never thought I'd like a show. The concept didn't do anything for me until I started watching it, and the show's pretty dope. So give that one a whirl. You're welcome.
Last thing, Gary Chambers Jr.
Who that?
He's running for Louisiana State Senate.
Okay.
And he put out an ad, pretty interesting ad. What's his name? Colbert actually played it on his show last week. 37-second ad where he's talking about Louisiana being last in crime, like the worst state for crime, second to last in education, like 48th in something else, 47th in something else. And his opponent he's running against, I guess, has been in power for years and maybe decades. And he's like, we need change. And he's talking about drug prosecution and states spending billions of dollars on it. Half of all drug charges were for marijuana possession, and a significant amount of those were for personal use and people locked up. And this whole time during the ad, smoking a big blunt.
What?
Yeah, it's pretty dope. He's in a suit, he's smoking. He's basically trying to say,
why are you flubbing around not speaking anymore? Technical difficulties with Dominic. Guy, we can hear you. Speak. Keep talking. I can hear you.
He's basically trying to say,
yes, I can hear you. Good Lord, man.
I'm one of you. We're regular people, and this is the new world. And I smoke marijuana for pleasure, for pain, whatever it is. And let's make changes. Let's focus. Let's reallocate funds. The euphemism Amit likes to say instead of defund the police. Let's reallocate funds and time and resources to bettering society, to bettering each other, to becoming more harmonious versus locking people up. That's it.
Can you hear me? You can't hear anything. So this guy's got technical difficulties. Well, try to mess with your headphone, dummy. Plug it back in your mic, do something. It's weird. All right. So the last thing on this note, as Dominic's having technical difficulties, Insta, for you Insta folk. Insta's starting something new where they're creating a subscription model because everybody's creating a subscription model. And so now they're testing it out right now. What the F, Dominic?
Testing what?
What did you do? Your sound got crazy. Oh my God. Sorry. Apologies there. So I'm at a loss now. Anyway, so creators can charge you 99 cents to $99 a month for you to subscribe to the channel. What are you doing, guy? Why is there so much background? Creators on the Instabook. All right, this is not going the way I planned. We're gonna call it right here as Dominic has found a way to ruin the show. Appreciate your time. I will say be better and all the good stuff that he normally says.
Be better. Justice or order.
Oh my God, that's so loud. Yes, it's so loud. Yes, bye.
Change the world.